I started writing this story before I stopped working at the shelter. William Skink is a character in the story, which represents, for me, putting more distance between what started as a pseudonym, which was derived from a stupid online handle, Lizard. Wait, who the hell am I? Good question. Burnout. Identity crisis. 2 more years until the age that must not be spoken. So add midlife, add trauma. There's the direct physical kind, there's the vicarious trauma kind, there's collective psychological trauma from the shared events like watching 2 towers turn to dust. There's a 6th sort of self-imposed trauma from wanting to know and reading books you can't unread, like this one, and this one, and this one. Working through this has sent me back to places like this footbridge I rode across to get to class as a freshly enrolled undergraduate student at the University of Montana. It was on this very bridge, while biking, where I first noticed Tommy, often sitting right where this man is sitting. We'll talk with Grizzly in a bit. I just wanted to present an image of a person we walk by and maybe look at, maybe not, maybe talk to, or maybe put more distance between. I biked by Tommy quite a few times without really noticing him. Then, one day, I saw he had an intricately done ink pen drawing propped up on his army green sleep sack, so I stopped. $10, he told me. I didn't have the cash, so I told him to hold it. I turned around and hit up the ATM machine in the Albertsons near the footbridge, then returned quick to buy the picture. Not having much time before class, I gave Tommy a 20. It was the beginning of a brief relationship that helped open my young, white, male-privileged eyes as I finished the undergraduate degree I had abandoned in Kansas, finishing up here in Missoula. Tommy died in 2002, in part due to his drinking. Some of my memories include his disdain for dogs and his theory that in a post-apocalyptic America, wild packs of dogs would be our greatest threat. Tommy also has some formal education in the arts and used to paint. He was a veteran, but didn't really talk about it. I wasn't going to ask. During the warmer months, when there was more seasonal street activity happening, Tommy would complain about how much trash he was picking up around the bridge. He maintained a level of respect for his surroundings that helped him draw a line of distinction between his choice to live how he lived and the more aggressively destructive street element Tommy didn't want to be associated with. I learned a lot from Tommy. I even bought some of the same kind of pens he used. And when the spirit moves me, I draw stuff like this. And this. And this. Now back to the bridge and to Grizzly. But first, a few quick things. My initial offer compensation for the interview was $20. Grizzly's counteroffer was a 2XL flannel and $10, which I gladly accepted. I'm also doing some editing, like cutting short the audio at the end where I use his real name. And now, as I say, please state your name for the record, because the first time I said it, my voice cracked and sounded terrible. So here it is.
Grizzly?
Grizzly! Grizzly, how long have you been sort of on and off the streets here in Missoula?
40 years.
40 years. So you knew Tommy, the guy that used to sit here and do the ink drawings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have conversations with him or ever,
I used to talk to him quite a bit down here.
Yeah. Do you know much of his backstory? Because I don't know much of his backstory. I know he died in 2002, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know much of his backstory.
Has Missoula changed a lot, do you think, in the last 10, 20 years?
Oh, hell yeah. Too many apartments.
Too many apartments?
And you know what gets me is?
Yeah.
They ain't been making no jobs here. It
Yeah.
is just for I don't know if it's the retirees or what. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what
And
you
it's
mean.
a shame.
Yeah.
Has it gotten harder to be on the streets? Do people, react to you any differently now than they did 10,
Oh, you
15
ain't
years
been
ago?
out here lately, have you?
I know, I haven't.
Now they got these security guys, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, and I thought they were the campus cops.
But they're not campus?
No, they're the ones that ride around, and they got the blue uniforms.
Okay. Are they associated with maybe local law enforcement?
Yeah, but they're more like a what do you call it?
The community officers, they can't arrest you, but they can...
I don't know if they can arrest you, but they carry guns and everything. And downtown, they write 90 tickets a day for the drunks.
Yeah. Do you think it's changed downtown? Are there less people hanging out downtown?
Oh, they're running everybody off the courthouse.
Oh, yeah. I just saw a bunch of people at the courthouse, and I saw the outreach team talking to people.
Oh, Will and what's his name?
Yeah.
They're okay. I like Will.
Are they getting out and handing out stuff and doing right by folks? Is there any last message you want to give to folks who might be watching this video?
Don't drink on the streets there.
Oh, those are good words to live by. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Grizzly is part right. Don't drink on the streets if you're homeless. If you don't look homeless, there's much less risk of being ticketed for having an open container. This was confirmed for me during Missoula's first Friday art walk. Walking downtown, I saw plenty of people carrying plastic cups of wine and beer. I didn't know about this disparity in enforcement when I was a student. I was naive about a lot of things back then. William Skink, the fictional character, is my younger, more innocent self, and what happens to him as he enters Chapel Perilous is what happened to me after 9/11. Chapel Perilous? What is that? Well, the best description I have found comes from Robert Anton Wilson. Here it is. In researching occult conspiracies, one eventually faces a crossroad of mythic proportions, called Chapel Perilous in the trade. You come out the other side either stone paranoid or an agnostic. There is no third way. I came out agnostic. Chapel Perilous, like the mysterious entity called I, cannot be located in the space-time continuum. It is weightless, odorless, tasteless, and undetectable by ordinary instruments. Indeed, like the ego, it is even possible to deny that it is there. And yet, even more like the ego, once you are inside it, there doesn't seem to be any way to ever get out again, until you suddenly discover that it has been brought into existence by thought and does not exist outside thought. Everything you fear is waiting with slavering jaws in Chapel Perilous, but if you are armed with the wand of intuition, the cup of sympathy, the sword of reason, and the pentacle of valor, you will find there, the legends say, the medicine of metals, the elixir of life, the philosopher's stone, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. That's what the legend always say, and the language of myth is poetically precise. For instance, if you go into that realm without the sword of reason, you will lose your mind. But at the same time, if you take only the sword of reason without the cup of sympathy, you will lose your heart. Even more remarkably, if you approach without the wand of intuition, you can stand at the door for decades, never realizing you have arrived. You might think you were just waiting for a bus, or wandering from room to room, looking for your cigarettes, watching a TV show, or reading a cryptic and ambiguous book. Chapel Perilous is tricky that way. I am still in Chapel Perilous. I am hoping that the catharsis of writing this fictional narrative will help me process the trauma that has led to my significant burnout, so I can move forward again. Part of my burnout has been the identity crisis I mentioned. The other character in this story that represents me, Tavin McPherson, is a straighter take on my actual person, an angry, cynical family man leaving his job at the shelter and wondering what comes next. I still don't know what comes next. In the story, there is a global consensus to make America pay for the derivative contagion, is what I call it, that brings down the global economy. There's a white supremacist takeover of the Pacific Northwest, establishing the rise of a region I call New Cascadia. On the eve of the craziest presidential election this country has ever seen, my story feels more and more disturbingly plausible. Have we all been sucked into Chapel Perilous now? Is there any way to escape? I don't know, but I'm going to do the best to find out. I would like to close out this third installment of the docu-series with a song I recorded a couple years ago. The subject of the song is the homeless man with no legs in the wheelchair who has since passed. The song can be a bit brutal, but I think it really is a pretty good reflection of what burnout sounds like for me. Thank you and stay tuned.
It might be better for you and everyone if you die. The fire guys told me how you wheeled around the ambulance bay until they caught you. What do you do? What do you do when you lay there and oh, when does any of this end? Going off the rails. When does any of this end? The systems are failing. You cannot stop the entropy. You cannot stop it. Tyranny. You cannot stop. You cannot stop. No, you can't. I don't got much of my voice left, but I gotta keep on using it till I'm dead. Oh my God, what will you say? Come on down again and let's play. Oh, 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 you got it wrong this time. You got the really mutated timeline. You know you fight in conspiracy. Oh, We gotta keep our heads